What's going on, guys? And we are here the same day I recorded the outro. So, we're gonna do the axle. We got a new axle for it. We got the soldering iron because we're actually gonna legitimately fix those wires the correct way. Yes, we could probably do a butt splice and some heat shrink, and that probably will be okay. But instead, we have the tools. We're gonna do it right. We're gonna fix it good, so we don't have to worry about it coming back. We got all our fluid. We got everything, don't we? And we should be able to fire this dude up. I mean, it ran before. It just didn't move before. So we're going to fire it up, and we're going to get running, and we're going to pull it. Actually, we're going to leave it on the rack, run it through its gears, and then check the fluid level, and then take it on its maiden voyage. And then you might be, I don't know if I can record much by then because it might be dark out because it gets dark at like 4 o'clock now. So let's get started. Wheel to grind.
So what were you doing?
Using a cutoff wheel to grind something because the nut flange is bigger than the hole that it has to go into, so it won't go in. So we're trying to make it smaller so it fits. But we're doing a smart thing. We're going to use a cutoff wheel. What do they call them? Death wheel. The death wheel, because it could explode at any point. And I'm going to make it thinner by grinding. Real smart. Alright, so we got the axle in, we got the ball joint attached. This is all good to go, that's all tight. We've gone around and looked at all the bolts. We did have to break off a stud, so we just found a bolt and a nut, some washers, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The old one went in on this side, we're good. Basically what we did is we heated the crap out of it and just hit it out with a hammer.
Yeah, bend the flange out, so we sucked it back out. It bent the flange a little bit, but you know, that gives you more pressure. So now we're going to slap the wheel well back in it, which, can we get to the drain plug? Or the fill plug hole? Where is that? It's on the back, isn't it? Alright, so these, well, is it up on this side? I can't remember. On these transmissions, they have they have a drain plug right here, which we should probably check if that's tight. Then they also have a fill plug, like basically it's like a rear diff where you fill it up to a certain level and it's going to come out the fill hole. So that's how you do the dipstick. There is no dipstick. There's a fill hole for a check. The only issue is ours was completely bone dry because it got rebuilt. So that means we have to put in what it says we need, like if we're doing just a drain and fill, but then we have to start it, run it, put it through all the gears, and then check the fluid levels. So that means we basically have to do this and then raise the car back up and open that drain plug and then top it off until it comes out. So actually we should probably do that before we put the wheel well in so we can get to it. So we're gonna fill it up, hook up the battery, do the soldering on the wires, and then
yeah, I was doing this.
yeah, we were falling.
All right, so yeah, let's do that. All right.
So we got these soldered up. It actually turned out really good. I put a little heat shrink around it, and I mean, it looks factory. That's factory. So now we're gonna top off the fluid, clean up our soldering stuff, and top it off. We gotta start it up, and then we're basically gonna shift it through all the gears to make sure we get fluid through all the solenoids and the whole valve body and everything. And then pull the drain plug, which we found it's actually on the tire side of the transmission. There's just a little tiny plug, little 10mm head, and so when you pull that out, it's basically a fill level. So you want the car to be as level as possible when you're doing that. So
we're
it's
on a
kind
lift, so we're pretty level.
Yeah, we're level because we're on a lift. But if you were at home up on jack stands, then you'd be a little more challenging. You almost have to jack the back end up to get it level.
Yep.
So, all right, let's top.
Use one.
Yeah, go for it.
First start up. Since we've done it, we've got everything buttoned up. So we're gonna start it up for the first time since we've taken the transmission out. It should start because nothing was wrong with the engine. So we're just worried about the trans. So first start since we've done the major surgery. Hold down traction control. Hold it down. All right, so we shifted it through all the gears. It did fine. So we're gonna, right there's that drain plug. So we're gonna take that out and we're gonna see if it comes out. If not, we know we gotta fill it up more.
Oh, God. Did you get that on camera?
I got, yes.
Oh. Let me just stand up and get this car.
Let me just completely stand all the way up.
Oh. And that hit right here. It was like right inside the hat. It wasn't. Yikes. Okay. No, that feels great. Where's that little ratchet?
It's right there. You want an extension probably. Or get it from this side.
let me stand up.
I don't have a good view.
Here, can you see that above me?
So if fluid starts leaking out, we know that it's fill.
Yep. Nope. All right, let's top her off.
Yeah, if you guys can see what we're talking about there, that is our little
It's our fill line.
fill line.
Once it comes out, it's full.
Yep.
Pretty simple. It's an old method that they used to use on differentials, and they still use it. Transfer cases, some manual transes are that
Yep.
way. Typically in automatic, you always have the dipstick, and you always got to check it when it's warm and running. This, I don't think you check it while it's running.
Probably not.
I would rather check it when it's not running, just so we have extra.
Yeah.
fluid. All right, guys. So it's been what, a week? And it's been a little bit because I drove it home. I added fluid, let it warm up, did a little test drive. It felt like it was low, and then I drove all the way home with the low fluid because I didn't have any more. We literally put 6 quarts in. Online it said it took 4, but I think that's when you do like a drain and fill, not a rebuild, flush, complete fill.
Right.
I think a complete fill is probably more like 8, and we had 6. So we bought 2 more quarts. We're gonna pop the plug out of the side, top it off when it's cold, because we can't find shit on the internet on if it has to be warm or cold or running or not. Or so if you know, please throw it down in the comments below. And we're gonna do a little test drive with it, and then that should be the end of this video. And yeah, we'll go from there. Hopefully, actually, the next video for this, I forgot, I actually bought, since this is a timing belt, I bought timing belt water pump because it's seeping, and 4 spark plugs. So this has 112,000 miles. I have no proof that it's been done. I haven't even looked at it, so I just bought a timing belt because it was only like $100 for a timing belt water pump kit online. So cheap, easy, insurance. It's better off doing it that way than just, well, we'll ship it anyway, and then in a week later the guy you sell it to comes back and be like, oh, I broke the timing belt, motor smacked into itself. So yeah, let's just throw it on there. It's not really that hard. So the next video we're gonna go through all of that. So if you are interested, hit that subscribe button. So we're gonna top this off, pull the plug out of the side. Once it starts coming out, we're good to go.
We need to add more coolant before we drive it because
Yeah.
it's empty.
Yeah, we need to add more coolant. It probably burped all the air out.
All right, let's put our It's windy, so if you can't hear me, sorry.
Yeah, wind.
He's gonna pop that loose, I'm gonna fill it up, and he's gonna tell me, whoa, when the fluid starts coming out.
Alright, so this is technically the first drive, but it's actually the second? Third.
You drove it to work.
I drove to work, I forgot about that.
So,
I noticed when it was hot it was fine. It would shift good and drive good, which is awesome. Which means there was an issue with that solenoid, which he said that the one solenoid for like the main shifting solenoid was just stuck. Like it ohmed out good and looked good, but it didn't look good because the plunger was like just straight up open. So this is really, we topped it off and we'll see how it shifts. It does kind of kick a little hard, but that's not bad. That's way better than it was. See, it was doing that where it kind of like, ugh.
And I think it's his transmissions because these are acted like, these newer cars shift like manuals, and it's actually a big problem.
God, this car's dirty.
And it's with these smaller cars that they have
nasty.
Bad. Oh, this car is disgusting. And in a future video, we're gonna clean it out. We're gonna champ.
It's gonna be one of them satisfying.
Yeah.
One of them
ASMR videos.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I don't know. What's it stand for?
I don't know. Aesthetically pleasing. My ride. So.
Yeah. It just, you know, it needs cleaned out. Needs to be vacuumed and detailed and stink bombed.
Right. And we talked about doing the timing cover or timing chain or belt, whatever it has. Belt. And it doesn't need it right now, but per service, you need it at 100,000 miles.
Yeah, typically it's 100,000 10 years. Well, this is a 2011. It's 2020. This has 112,000 miles, so it's right at that point where it's almost both. So I don't think it was done because they said they had the car for quite a few years, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had the car for a while. I didn't look at what miles they bought it at.
They might have bought it new.
I don't know if they bought it. I think they bought it used. But, yeah, see that? It like downshifts really weird.
Well, that's what it uses the engine to brake.
It does like engine braking.
Yeah, even my new truck does that.
I'm not used to that. I'm used to driving old, what's that called? Delapios? What's that word?
I have no idea.
You never heard of that word? Old piece of crap cars. But yeah, it's running good. We got to get cleaned up, and we'll have a time belt water pump video and plugs. Just basically a 100,000 mile tune-up. Typically, plugs you do at 100,000. The water pump you can do. Ours is leaking, so we're gonna do it. And it's only leaking around the gasket, but we're gonna do it anyway because I don't want to half-ass it. Okay. I'm just going to replace the whole thing because if the gasket's leaking, they got an issue with the gasket, which means they got an issue with the water pump. So I'm just going to replace it and we're going to call it good. Other than that, I think we're going to head over to the good old O'Reilly's and get us a stink bomb because this thing stinks. Stinks.
Yeah, it smells like mildew.
It smells like ass and mildew.
Well, it's sat for months.
It's kind of hard to see through all the bird crap too.
Under a tree. Yeah.
Yeah, the silver car in the back's like black, so we'll do one of them like before and after swings. I think that'd be kind of cool.
It would. Yeah.
It'd be fun to match the video up.
But overall, I mean, this is a good car for.
Oh yeah.
Know.
Absolutely.
I think I can actually crank this guy down. Nope. Wait. Nope. Wait. Am I? Yeah.
What are you doing over there, Johnny?
I'm 6'4", and I was almost touching the ceiling. So being able to push this all the way down to the ground makes it so I actually have headroom. Actually, a lot of leg room. But screw anybody who's behind you. It's not made for that.
It's like a two-seater with the insurance seat in the back. Yeah. You know, where you get savings because you got. Oh, I can fit 4 people, 4 tiny people.
Yeah.
Not normal people. The ride's nice and smooth. Like we took the cradle out, and like it's driving straight. I don't even know if I'm gonna get a line. typically when you take the cradle out, you got to take and get it aligned because you drop the steering rack and all that stuff. But we're not. I don't even know if I want to do that because it's
Actually, yeah, the steering wheel's straight and it drives straight. So
yeah, why bother? Tires are brand new. I think they said they got them like 4,000 miles ago or something.
yeah, and if you guys like these kind of videos of us, you know, fixing these cars, eventually I think we want to be into reviving. Maybe we could see ourselves there.
I want to do some builds, some crazy builds, and I want to do some revivals. I think they'd be cool, like a restoration of some sort, like a,
Yeah.
and maybe even a rest-a-month. You know, do a old car, drop an LS in it, you know, things like that.
Right. And
Soup it up.
we're definitely, I mean, drop it down in the comments if you'd like to see that stuff. I know we would like to see ourselves buying trucks and cars from Copart that are completely smashed, getting them from the insurance and building them. And we also have one coming up.
We might have one coming up. The guy with the lift, my buddy, he ended up buying a 2017 Silverado. And if I can fit a picture in, I got a picture of the frame, like the front driver's side frame rail. I'll squeeze that in here right here. And it's in pretty rough shape. But it looks like it's going to need a frame and probably the front end and airbags and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
And-
it'll be a good project.
And he's a body guy, so that's why he bought it. He knows that he can do it. He's been a mechanic for a long time and a body guy, so he's capable of doing it. He asked us if we wanted to join in and be able to videotape it, and we said absolutely. So,
Free content.
yeah,
Doesn't cost us a cent.
no,
We just gotta give it some time. Work weekends on it.
so we have stuff coming, but
So definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and please leave us a comment. Tell me what we're doing wrong, or right, or
yeah, what would
anything.
you like to see on our channel? I mean, we have some stuff that of our own that we haven't, you know, purchased just for this, but we have some stuff to be able to put on here for filler content when things get slow. But all right, guys. Well, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more. All right.